Alaric. Why the hell did everything hurt so much? I couldn't remember the last time I woke up feeling this sore. Just what did I do last night? I moved my hands a little, only to realize that I wasn't alone. There was most definitely a naked body pressed up against my side. My first thought was Clara, but I immediately dismissed that thought. It couldn't be Clara. This scent didn't belong to her, but I knew exactly who it belonged to. No, I wouldn't have done something like that even on a full moon. I wouldn't have gone after her. She would be the last person I should be seeking on a night like that. I was terrified to open my eyes. I didn't want to confirm what my heart already knew. Alaric. I thought you were smarter than this. I thought you would never do something this insane. The second I opened my eyes, I knew that it was over. I knew that I'd done something that I would never be able to forgive myself for. Nicole already hated me during a full moon. She must hate me even more now. And Clara. I didn't even want to think about her. She would be so disappointed in me. I didn't even want to think about what this news would do. It would hurt too much just to imagine her reaction if she ever found out what I did. But how long would I be able to hide the truth from her? I didn't want to lie. I didn't want there to be any secrets between us. Waking up like this makes me wonder if I should have accepted her offer. Maybe it would have been better to have her in that damn basement with me. None of this would have happened. I just messed up my life for good. Nicole stirs a little, and I brace myself for her outburst. How did this even happen? I should have been locked up in that basement. I made it in such a way that I shouldn't have been able to get out. I wanted to protect Clara from the beast inside of me. Not once did I ever think that I would wake up with a naked Nicole in my arms. I'd really done it this time. There was no going back from here. I couldn't reverse the things I'd done last night, and now I had to live with it for the rest of my life. Alaric? She whispers as she looks at me drowsily. What's going on? She asks as she waits for me to say something. She takes one look around the room and gasps. Did I force her back to my room? What exactly did I do? She was the only one who would be able to tell me all of the details. I thought it was all a dream, she confesses. Last night, I was convinced that everything that happened between us wasn't real, but now I can see that it did, in fact, happen. I close my eyes to try and drown out the pain. It didn't help, not in the least. Alaric, she asks again. I couldn't bring myself to answer her, even though I knew I couldn't keep quiet like this for the rest of my life. I had to find out. I couldn't hide from this. I had to own up to my actions, no matter how hard it was. What happened last night? I ask her. I won't be able to remember a single detail. What did I do to you? How did you end up in my room like this? She blushed, and I felt my stomach twist uncomfortably. It was a look I longed to see in her during the past. Now, I hated that look unless it was on Clara's face. She was the only woman I wanted to look at me like that. But it was too late for that. She would hate me after this. She would finally see me as the monster I always knew that I was. I came over here, she informs me. I knew it was the full moon, and I wanted to be here for you. That didn't seem like her at all. It was the last thing I would ever expect her to say. You've always hated the full moon, I remind her. You always stayed as far away from me as possible because it made you sick. I made you sick. Why did you suddenly decide to come last night when you know that we are divorced and the dangers it could mean for you? She bit her lip and looked away from my piercing gaze. I don't know what to say, Alaric, she whispers. Ever since I signed those papers, I can't stop thinking about you. I hoped that if I came last night, I could prove to you that I have changed. I wanted to show you that I could be better for you, us, and our relationship. I wince at the mention of our relationship. There was nothing left between us anymore. What I did last night would not change things in our failed marriage. The only thing that would change is Clara's feelings for me, and to me, that was the most important thing in this world. I had to find a way to fix things. I had to. I couldn't let Clara learn about this from anyone else but me. Clara, I made a mistake last night. I should never have gone to Alaric's home during the full moon. I should have listened to him. Everything that happened was my fault. He warned me that I wouldn't like it, though it was for a completely different reason than he expected. I never wanted to make things harder for him. I wanted to get closer to him. I wanted to know that he wanted me. I found out that he did, but not how I wanted it to happen. When Alaric touched me last night, he hated himself for it. I still remember the blood stains in the bathroom mirror. It was something I was likely never to forget. I'd never seen so much regret on someone's face as his after he touched me. I closed my eyes and placed my head down on the desk. I was in his class. I'd made sure to come early today. However, I was afraid of his reaction when he saw me. I knew he wouldn't remember anything, but I'm sure that he could see the state of his bathroom. He must figure out that something happened between us. Last night, he escaped from the basement to get to me, just like he had feared. I wince at the reminder of the bruises on his body. I never once thought that just being in the same house with him during the full moon would result in something like that happening. I never wanted to see him physically hurt because of my selfishness again. It was the last time I would do something that foolish just for my own personal gain. "What's wrong with you?" Jenna asks me as she takes a seat next to mine. I hadn't told her what had happened, and I wouldn't be able to tell her the entire truth either. The full moon wasn't something I could discuss. "I've been having a rough morning," I answer her. "Does it have something to do with our hot professor?" she teases me. I nod. Everything in my life is somehow connected to him now. I confess. "Well, you might want to lift your head off the desk because he's just entered the room," she informs me. When I heard her say those words, my breath caught in my throat. Alaric was actually here, and I didn't know how to feel about it. My mind was still preoccupied with the guilt and shame from my actions the day before. I couldn't bear to look at him, afraid of the judgment I might see in his eyes. The thought of facing him now, under these circumstances, was almost too much to bear. However, I didn't have a choice. I knew if I stayed this way, I would bring more attention to myself, and it was the last thing that I wanted to happen. I gradually lifted up my face, feeling the weight of his gaze on me. As my eyes met his, a small gasp escaped my lips. He looked emotionally drained and stressed out, as if he had been battling with his thoughts the entire morning. Seeing his distress made my heart sink, and I couldn't help but feel responsible for it. It wasn't fair that he was going through this turmoil because of me. The situation should have never escalated to this point, and I couldn't help but regret my actions that led to this moment. I bit my lip when he looked away from my gaze, almost as though he couldn't bear to look at me. I swallowed the pain I felt in my chest at that realization. It was much worse than I thought. He didn't even want to look at me. He must hate me for what I did. "That was weird," Jenna whispers, confirming my thoughts. "He didn't even look at you for more than a few seconds when usually he can't take his eyes off you." I wasn't sure what I could do to make any of this better. The rest of the class was torture for me. He never looked my way again. It felt like the longest hour of my life. When the bell rings, I slowly get up from my chair. I had to get out of here before I started to cry in front of him. I didn't want to act like the victim when I was responsible for everything that went wrong last night. Before I could walk out of the classroom, his hand stopped me. I held my breath. My skin tingled under his touch, and it was hard not to care that his hand was on me. "There is something I need to speak to you about," he informs me. "The girls behind us are looking at us with jealousy like they usually do. However, they didn't have anything to be jealous about. Soon enough, he will want nothing to do with me. Maybe that was what he wanted to speak to me about." "Sure," I tell him. "Meet me in my office in 5 minutes." He says as he turns his attention to the other girls. Their faces immediately brightened now that he was looking at them. I hugged myself as I exited the room. I wasn't prepared to hear what he had to say to me. I knew he would want to know more about last night, and I wasn't willing to tell him everything that happened. I didn't want him to hate himself any more than he already did because of the curse and what it turned him into. I slowly make my way to his office after 5 minutes have passed. I knock on the door, and it swiftly opens. I can barely breathe when he grabs my hand and pulls me inside. "Alaric?" I gasp. "Clara." His hands are firmly planted on either side of me, his breath hot on my face. I can hear the wild beating of my heart in my chest. and I can almost taste the tension in the air. It is almost palpable. Alaric's alluring scent was a big distraction, but what was genuinely captivating was his heated, intense eyes fixed on me, smoldering with heat. He must know. Somehow, he knew what I did last night. Why else would you be looking at me like this? I could feel my cheeks get redder in embarrassment. I'd done things that he must hate me for. He begged me to stay away, but I was too stubborn. Alaric, He doesn't let me finish. Instead, I'm shocked when his lips crash down on mine. It was the last thing I expected, and it left my body in a state of shock. I couldn't do anything but stay there and let him suck the life out of me from that one kiss. I'd never been kissed like this in my entire life. He's kissed me before, but never like this. It was a more powerful feeling, one that made me feel weak enough to faint. I tried to catch my breath each time he broke the kiss to kiss me harder a second later. Eventually, I snapped out of it, and before I could stop myself, wrapped my arms around his neck. I must be dreaming. That's what this was. There was no possible way that Alaric would be kissing me in his office right now. I wanted to pinch myself, but was too scared of waking up and losing this. I didn't want to lose this feeling. It was something that I would want to remember forever. His mouth is hungry and desperate. It's how I always wished that Carter would kiss me in the past when we were in a relationship. I didn't know what I had been missing until now, to have a man want me this desperately. Not once did I think that I would be kissing my ex-boyfriend's brother. Not once did I think I would be in the arms of Alaric Prince. Not once did I think that he would be the one to give me something that I always wanted. It was something I had only dreamed of, to have him kiss me like he really wanted it. There's something else in this kiss, something that I had yet to recognize. I was too busy drowning in ecstasy. I moan against him, and he responds by deepening the kiss. I hear a growl, and it vibrates throughout my entire body. I tremble in his arms, and my heartbeat increases in response to his touch. There's a knock on the door, and I freeze. Alaric, on the other hand, seems to be still caught up in me. He doesn't let go of me. Instead, his hands tighten on my waist as he spins me around and presses me up against his desk. I'm practically sprawled out on it as he continues to devour my mouth. My body felt like it was on fire, and I needed someone to throw some water on me. Maybe that would finally wake me up from this dream. I don't stop him as his mouth moves to my neck. I gasp when I feel him begin to suck on the skin below my ear. I'd never felt this alive in my entire life, and only Alaric could do this to me, even if it turned out that it was all just a dream, as I suspected. The knock on the door gets more aggressive, and even that doesn't seem to get his attention. His hands move to my breasts, and I cry out. Whoever was at the door must have heard me. The knocking pauses for a minute, and I believe he or she was listening intently. Whoever it was, they wanted to confirm what they'd just heard. Something was off. No matter how good this felt, I knew that I was missing something. But what was it? What had happened that had him this way? It felt like he was almost scared of losing me, almost like he didn't want to let me go. What could have caused Alaric to act this recklessly? The Alaric I knew would be concerned about someone finding us in this position. He would be worried about my reputation. What exactly happened last night after I left the room? It couldn't be just because of what I did. Something else must have happened that I didn't know about. Alaric! I hear Nicole shouting outside the door. His ex-wife. I should have known it would be her waiting to enter his office. She must be hysterical now that she'd heard my cry of pleasure. I hear the aggressive turn of the doorknob as she tries to open it again. When did he even get the chance to lock it? I wasn't aware that it had been locked this entire time. Why was Nicole here? Why couldn't she leave us alone? What exactly did she want this time? Alaric. What the hell was I doing? We were in the bloody academy for crying out loud. Why would I risk Clara's reputation like this? My fear of losing her because of my actions last night was making me act like a madman. The second I saw her in that classroom, I knew I had to keep my eyes and hands off her. However, I couldn't stand it. I asked to see her in my office with every intention of kissing her, and even more after knowing that it might be the last time I would ever be able to put my mouth on her. Now Nicole was right outside the door, waiting to come in. She could spill the news at any second to Clara. I didn't want that. I should have told her the truth when I called her into my office. I shouldn't have used up that opportunity to put my mouth and hands all over her body. Hell. She would hate me. Clara would hate my guts after this. She puts a hand over my mouth to stop me. Don't apologize for kissing me. Please don't do it. My jaw clenched, and I slowly moved her hand from over my mouth. There is something I need to tell you, I confess. Something that happened last night. Her eyes widen a fraction, and she looks a bit nervous to hear what I have to say. What could she possibly be nervous about if she didn't have a clue what I was about to tell her? It makes me wonder if she already knew something that she wasn't saying to me. Alaric, I swear if you do not open this door in 5 seconds, I will call security to break it down, Nicole shouts. I couldn't let that happen. It would bring too much attention to us, and it was the last thing that Clara needed right now. I have to speak to Nicole, I inform her, and she slowly nods. I quickly cross the room and open the door. Nicole almost falls to the ground. She must have had her ear glued to the door. Nicole, I greet her. She narrows her eyes when she sees Clara behind me. I knew how much they didn't like each other. Why did you lock the door with that woman in your office? She demands. Nicole, need I remind you that we are no longer married? I do not have to answer any of your questions anymore. I growl. She narrows her eyes. Oh, really? I sigh. Clara, can you please excuse us? I need to speak to Nicole in private. She doesn't bother to say anything as she storms out of the room. I was glad that she was gone. I was even surprised that Nicole didn't try and tell her anything about last night. She was most likely waiting for the right opportunity to break the news to her. Why are you here, Nicole? I demand. She narrows her eyes and angrily closes the door after Clara walks out of it. What do you mean? She shouts. How could you just leave me there on your bed after what you did to me last night? There was something different about her, something that I couldn't seem to figure out. Did she put on some weight? Why was that even my concern? Look, Nicole, I sigh. I don't have time for this. I already apologized and promised to make it up to you. However, I did explain that there was no longer a chance for us. There is, she hisses. I know that you are acting this way because of that spiteful woman, but don't forget that I was the one that supported you all along, not her. What? What the hell was she speaking about? When has she ever supported me? She's made me feel like during our entire marriage. Why the hell was she lying? Nicole, I don't want to get into a fight about this now. I had a awful night. I knew you did, also. Why don't you just take some time and rest? I ask her gently. I was trying my hardest to be kind to her right now, even though she was testing my patience. I needed to remind myself that I was the wrong one. I did something to her last night that even now I have no memory of. I would never have a memory of it either. I want to make things work, Alaric, she begs. I want you to give me another chance. Why can't you do that for me? Because you lost that chance a long time ago, I remind her. Now, please, get out of my office. She stabs a finger against my chest. I promise you that you will regret this. It's the last thing she says to me before storming out of my office. Damn it. I knew I was screwed. Clara! What do you mean Alaric isn't home? I asked Scarlett for the second time since she broke the news to me. He kissed me earlier today, then Nicole met with him, and I never saw him again after that. He disappeared without any warning. All I kept thinking about was that kiss. I couldn't get it out of my head. I wanted to see him and ask him about it. I was hoping that it was more than just a kiss for him. However, he was nowhere to be found. I was sure that I would see him when I came to visit Scarlett. I never thought that he wouldn't be home. I don't know what else you want me to say, Scarlett whispers. He never showed up after work today. Then he called Apollo and told him that he would be out for the rest of the week. The rest of the week, I gasp. How is that even possible? Doesn't he have students that he needs to teach? Why would he disappear like that without an explanation? She quirks a brow at me. I was hoping that you would have an answer to this question. Is it possible that something happened between the two of you that has him reacting this way? I bit my lip. There was no use hiding the truth from my sister. He called me to his office and kissed me today, I confess. Her eyes look like they would pop out any second now. He did what? She asks in disbelief. But then Nicole showed up, and he asked me to leave. I never got to ask him about the kiss. There's something weird going on. I can feel it. I know that Nicole is definitely the main culprit in his strange behavior. I don't know what she's up to, but it cannot be any good. I've never seen Alaric this uneasy or reckless. Scarlett sighs. His relationship with Carter hasn't improved either. They're both still very angry with each other. I don't know when any of this will get better. Can someone tell me why Nicole is here? Violet asks us as she walks into the family room. Nicole? Scarlett asks in surprise. She was here? Why would she come here? She also came to see Alaric at the academy today, I informed his sister. He didn't look happy to see her. I don't know why she's here. She's following him around, Violet says in an annoyed tone. When he wanted her, she never cared about him. Now that he's moving on with his life, she's trying to confuse him again. I'm so tired of her. Let's see what she wants, Scarlett says. At least Alaric isn't here. There's no reason for her to stay. The second that we walk into the hallway, she's already there waiting for us. Was she expecting us? Where is Alaric? She demands. Why are you here, Nicole? Violet demands. You are no longer married to my brother. She narrows her eyes at her. I always knew there was a reason that I never liked you. Don't speak to her like that. I snap. Nicole rolls her eyes at me. I'm not here to speak to any of you. I'm here to speak to Alaric. I have some important news to tell him. It's something that he needs to hear from me. I narrow my eyes. What is it? We can give the message to him. Who do you think you are? She snaps at me. You're a nobody. Alaric doesn't care about you. Why are you always in his business? Oh, believe me, my brother cares deeply about her, Violet informs her. And unlike you, I know she cares about him also. My lips part slightly at Violet's words. I'm happy to know that she thinks Alaric cares about me. I knew that it was evident that I cared about him too. I'm telling you that I have something significant to tell Alaric. He isn't here, Violet informs her. In fact, he will not be here for a few days. None of us know where he is. I don't know what you said to my brother today, but he has disappeared. She looks genuinely surprised by her words and even a bit disappointed. It seems as though she really wanted to see him. Now, can you please leave? There is no reason for you to be here, Violet tells her. Nicole folds her arm over her chest angrily. You may think that your brother has completely gotten over me. I'm here to tell you that soon enough, he will want me again. When I tell him what I have to say to him, believe me, Alaric will be mine again, and there is nothing that any of you can do to stop it from happening. Her words have the three of us totally confused. What could Nicole possibly have to say to him that will get them back together? Clara. Each day went by slowly without Alaric. It was difficult not to see him. It's the first time I've been away from him for this long since falling for him. There was a replacement professor, and I didn't like him one bit. He didn't make learning fun. He didn't give me a reason to want to come to class day after day. I think every girl in our class felt the same way that I did. In fact, plenty of them stopped showing up after they realized he wouldn't be here for a while. It's been 4 days, 4 whole days. Today, I was hoping that he would be back. However, once again, there was the replacement professor in front of me. I couldn't pay attention to a single word coming out of his mouth. He's boring, Jenna sighs. I hate to admit it, but I really miss our hot professor. But I know that you miss him 100 times more than I do. Really? I ask her sarcastically. What gave it away? She smirks. Maybe the big frown on your forehead or the dark circles under your eyes that tell me you haven't been sleeping, the constant sighing from you, the fact that you look like you want to cry and have plenty on your mind. Also, if I were to ask you a question about any of the topics taught during the past few days, I'm sure you wouldn't be able to tell me a single one. I roll my eyes at her. I didn't think you would actually list everything out like that. She grins. I was simply matching your energy. The bell signals the end of class, and I'm happy that the torture is finally over. I'm sure he will show up soon. Jenna tries to comfort me. She hasn't been the only one trying to comfort me. My sister has been trying every day since Alaric disappeared. A part of me was upset with him. I couldn't understand how he could kiss me so passionately and then disappear for 4 whole days. How could he do such a thing? It felt like he was running away from me. As I walk beside Jenna, lost in my thoughts, she suddenly grabs my hand with a force that startles me. I turn to look at her and notice a look of shock on her face. Her eyes widen and her mouth slightly opens as if she has just seen something unexpected. I can feel her grip tightening on my hand, and I wonder what could have caused her such surprise. It makes me instantly worried. She shakes my hand and urges me to look forward. I follow her gaze, and all of the life is sucked out of me when I see Alaric in front of his office door. I could feel the adrenaline kick in at just the sight of him. Is it really him, or am I daydreaming again? I asked her for confirmation, even though she was the one who pointed him out to me. I've been having hallucinations about him ever since he left, and I would hate for this to be another one. She nods. It's him all right, but I don't know if you've noticed yet. He isn't alone. The second that she says those words to me, I notice Nicole right next to him. I watch with frustration as he grabs her hand and pulls her into his office. My heart drops at the reminder of him doing the exact same thing to me just a few days ago. As the door slams shut, so too does my heart. I could feel my blood begin to boil at the thought of him kissing and touching her like he'd done to me. What do you think they're doing in his office? Jenna asks me. I exhale loudly. Hey, she whispers. Are you okay? You look like you're about to explode any second now. I did feel like I was about to explode. I couldn't believe he would do this to me. The first thing he should have done after returning was come to me. He should have found me and explained why he left in the first place. We were supposed to talk about that kiss in his office. How could he be this heartless? It was almost like that kiss meant absolutely nothing to him. Nicole's words from a few days ago were haunting me, and it seemed as though it was already coming true. He was already choosing her over me. She was the first person he went looking for when it should have been me. I wasn't about to let this slide. The second that Nicole exited that room, I would be stepping inside. Alaric Prince had some serious explaining to do. I was not going to back down until he told me why he left me for 4 freaking days. Alaric, what was so important that you needed to see me today? I asked Nicole. I had every intention of finding Clara. I knew she might be upset with me after disappearing right after I kissed her. What she doesn't know is that I've been by her window every single night since I left home. I had to see her, even if it meant watching her while she slept. I never entered her room. I knew if I did, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from kissing her. The last person I wanted to see when I entered the academy was Nicole, but it seemed as though she was waiting for me. It wasn't abnormal to see her here since she'd also recently started working here because of a connection I'd gotten for her while we were married. However, I didn't want to have a conversation with her again. It never ended well for either one of us. Why the hell did you disappear and not tell me anything? She demands. I went over to your home, and your family was extremely rude to me, as usual. All I wanted to do was see you, and they had the most horrible things to say to me. I knew how much Nicole loved to stretch the truth to her advantage. I knew that she must have said something to them first. Look, Nicole, I'm trying hard to be nice to you, considering how badly you treated me when you found out about my family's secret. I finally gave you the divorce that you wanted for a long time. Why are you suddenly acting like I was the one that ruined our marriage? Because I still love you, she shouts. I still love you, Alaric, and it's hard for me to see that you don't love me anymore. It's hard for me to see you crazy about another woman. I want another chance. You can't possibly be serious about Clara. She's too young for you. She's your student, for crying out loud. Clara's age did bother me in the past, but not anymore. I didn't care what anyone had to say about it. She was the woman for me. It was either her or no one else. I knew that much. I don't believe you, I tell her. There is no way that you're still in love with me. I'm having trouble believing that you ever loved me to begin with. And as for Clara, please stop bringing her up in our arguments. She has nothing to do with our failed marriage. Our marriage was a mess before I even got to know her better. Leave her out of this, Nicole. I couldn't help but notice the oversized coat around her body. Nicole usually wore revealing or very tight-fitted clothes. It was weird to see her in something like this. "You're right," she sighs. "That woman has nothing to do with us. That is why I believe that I can save this marriage." "What marriage?" I shout. "Why do you keep repeating the same thing? Nicole, it's time that you accept this is over. I don't want to use force to remove you from my life. I'm still trying to salvage what's left of our good memories." She turns towards the door, but doesn't try to leave. It looks like she's thinking hard about something. "I can't walk out of your life now, Alaric," she whispers suddenly. "It's too late to walk out now. There is someone else in both of our lives, someone that requires us to stay together for a very long time." I frown. What the fuck was she speaking about? Who was the person that needed us to stay together? I knew damn well that it wasn't me. "What are you talking about?" I demand. "Something happened on the night of the full moon, something that neither of us can run from." She cries. "I didn't want things to come to this, Alaric. I was hoping that you would give us another chance before I broke this news to you. I considered walking away from you for good, but I knew you deserved the truth." "Nicole, what the hell are you trying to tell me?" I didn't like this one bit. I could already tell that whatever she had to say to me was about to change my life for good. It terrified me. The coat slowly dropped from her shoulders, and I held my breath. I wasn't sure what was happening, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't want to say anything until I was sure. She says softly. She was still facing the doorway, but I could see her slowly begin to turn around. It didn't take me long to realize what was so different about her. A sharp pain shuts through my spine at my first look at the bump on her stomach. It could only mean one thing. No, this couldn't be happening to me. Not now. Please, no, Alaric. "I don't understand," I whisper. "How?" "What do you mean, how?" she demands. "Have you forgotten what happened a few days ago?" "I'm pregnant, Alaric. I'm finally pregnant. I know you've wanted this for a very long time. I was terrified when I found out, but a big part of me was also happy to finally give you something that you've always wanted, what we've both wanted for a long time." I can't move. My body has forgotten how to work. She's right. I've wanted this for a very, very long time. I begged her in the past for a baby, but she was never willing to have one with me. But why now? Why does it have to happen when I was interested in someone else? Did this life hate me? Why did things like this always happen? When would the madness stop? I don't know what to say, I confess. This is the last thing I expected to hear from you today. She walks up to me and places a hand on my shoulder. I flinch at her touch. It was much different than Clara's. Things were different now. I didn't like anyone's hands on me except Clara's. "You should be happy, Alaric. This is what you've always wanted. You are going to be a father. You've wanted a child for as long as I can remember. Your dream will finally come true, and I'm thrilled that I will be the one to make that happen. You have no idea how hard it has been on me these few days without you. I searched everywhere for you. I knew I had to tell you that I was having your baby." I swallow hard. A baby. I'd gotten Nicole pregnant, and it just so happened to be as soon as I divorced her. Alaric, my timing was horrible. Hers was also. I didn't want this right now. I may have wanted a baby from her in the past, and I may have wanted it desperately. However, it's the last thing I wanted now, at least from her. That damn curse, it messed my entire life up, and it wasn't about to stop now. It was the reason for most of the horrible things happening in my life. I wish there were a way to get rid of it for good. Nicole always surprised me. Her reaction to all of this was a total shock to me. Why was she so happy about it when she'd always told me that she wasn't ready to be a mother? We'd had so many arguments in the past over this. Eventually, I respected her wish not to have a baby at that time. What caused her to change her mind about this quickly? I knew it couldn't be because of the divorce. There had to be another reason. "We are going to be good parents, Alaric," she whispers. "I promise you that I will be better. I have to be better now that I will be a mother. All I need is for you to try as well." "Are you sure that you are pregnant?" I asked, even though the proof was right in front of me. She looks down and places her hand over her stomach. "What more proof do you need?" she asks me. We can go to the doctor if that will make you feel better about this, but I'm telling you, this is your baby. It's our baby. I felt like everything was spinning out of control, and I had no idea how to stop it. Everything was about to change in my life. Everything. Clara. What is taking them so long? I asked Jenna as I paced from left to right. I wish I had the answer to give you, Jenna says as she tries to calm me down. She's been trying to calm me down for a few minutes now. I didn't understand what they could possibly be speaking about for so long. I'm about to say something else when the door opens and Nicole steps out of his office. She looks happy. It's like she's gotten something she's wanted for a while now. It bothers me. It bothers me so badly that I want to ask her what she's up to now, especially since she mentioned that she had something to tell Alaric that would bring him back to her again. I don't wait for another second as I rush towards his office. I knew it wasn't a good idea to do this while everyone was probably watching. However, I didn't care. I was too angry with Alaric to care about anyone else right now. I don't bother knocking as I push his door open. I find him by his desk with a look of despair. I knew I should have asked right away what was wrong, but my anger had taken control of my body. How could you? I demand. He finally looks at me, acknowledging my presence. I don't think he even realized I'd entered the room until now. Clara? He says my name like he isn't even sure I'm here. How could you? I repeat myself. He blinks once, then twice. He looks horrified. He should be. He looks down, unable to say anything. I can't believe you would kiss me and then disappear without saying a single word to me. I snap. I thought you were better than that. I've always known you as a man who didn't run from your problems. I can't believe you left like that and never said a single word to me. He swallows hard but looks surprised by my words and possibly even a little bit relieved. What was there to be relieved about? Couldn't he hear the anger and hurt in my voice? Was the kiss that bad? I demand. Did you regret kissing me? Was that why you disappeared without a single word? Were you hoping that we wouldn't have to speak about it if you weren't here? Did you also hope that I would forget about it? Was that your reason for leaving without any warning, Alaric? Alaric. How could she think I hated that kiss? I loved every second of it to the point that I wanted it every single day for the rest of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was on my mind all the damn time. Her taste was everything. Even now, I want to push her up against the wall and cover her lips with my mouth. However, I had to have control, especially now. Soon enough, she will know the truth about Nicole. She will find out that I slept with her during the full moon and got her pregnant. When that news comes out, she will hate me for good. Until then, I wanted to enjoy my little time with her. Even angry, Clara was a sight to behold. She was so unbelievably beautiful that she left me completely breathless. Now I can never tell her what I wish to say. There was no longer a chance for us. She will never accept me after this. I'm sorry that I left and didn't say a word to you, Clara. I apologize. I didn't leave because of the kiss. I left for another reason I prefer not to discuss now. She frowns, surprised by my response. You weren't avoiding me? She asks curiously. I shook my head. Avoiding you is the last thing I want to do, Clara. Then why can't you give me an explanation? She demands. That kiss, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I thought that I did something wrong. You can never do anything wrong, I assure her. Her bottom lip trembles. I don't know what's happening here, Alaric. 1 minute, I think that you like me, and then another, you completely ignore me. What is truly happening? Is there something between us or not? I look away from her penetrating gaze. I couldn't look her in the eye right now. I was too ashamed to face her. I couldn't believe that I'd gotten Nicole pregnant. Me. There is something, I answer her, but nothing can ever happen between us. That kiss, it can never happen again. There isn't a chance for us, Clara. I ruined all chances of that ever happening. You ruined it? She asks. How could you possibly have ruined the chances if I'm willing to try right now to make things work between us? I sigh. I know what you feel for me is only temporary. I know that you don't have strong feelings for me. You will be able to forget about that kiss and any other kisses quite easily. She crosses her arms over her chest stubbornly. You don't get to decide for me. I can tell if something is easy for me to forget or not. I only want what's best for you, I tell her. Don't speak to me like an older brother, she says with disgust. If you wanted what was best for me, you would try to be with me. You wouldn't dismiss what we have like it's nothing to you. We never discussed it before, but this is the chance to get our feelings out in the open. Do you want a relationship with me, Alaric? Yes. More than you will ever know, Clara. I wanted more than just a bloody relationship. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. I wanted to have babies with her, and definitely not Nicole. Damn it, if only she knew how badly I wanted to be with her. Telling her now will only make things worse. What I want isn't important right now, I inform her. I walk towards the door and place my hand over the handle. I need you to leave now. If you're in my office for too long, there will be many rumors about you by the end of the day, and I would hate to have to correct them. I'd gotten in trouble in the past for meddling in rumors about her. Professors are supposed to stay out of those things, especially at this academy. However, I would risk plenty of things just for Clara's happiness. She looked upset that I was asking her to leave. I knew she would be. However, just like I said in the past, I was doing this for her own good. I was only thinking of her. If she stayed here any longer, the rumors aren't the only things she will have to worry about. The longer I stayed in the office with her, the more I wanted to pull her on top of me and have my way with her. Nicole was in your office just now, she says in a flat tone. Did you also ask her to leave like you're asking me to leave? Damn it. I wish Clara knew that I never wanted to speak to Nicole today. I wish that she knew I was forced because of the circumstances. You can't even answer me, she whispers. I was foolish for thinking there was something between us. You still want to be with Nicole. Everything she said was true, wasn't it? I stiffen. What did she say to you? I knew Nicole never had anything good to say, especially to Clara. It bothered me whenever I found out that she spoke to her. Does it matter? She asks. What she said to me lines up with your actions. My jaw clenches. Clara, I wish I could tell you what you want to hear. Believe me, I do. However, the circumstances right now will not allow that to happen. Are you getting back together with her? She asks me with a look of horror and sadness on her face. I swallowed the pain that I felt, knowing I was hurting her right now. I knew how much my brother had hurt her in the past. I never wanted to do the same thing to her. I kept my distance for a long time just to protect her, but failed in the end. Are you? She demands. Are you getting back with Nicole? Clara, if Alaric told me that he was getting back with Nicole, I would lose my mind. I don't know how I would react. I knew I should just walk away. I knew that I shouldn't torture myself anymore. However, I had to know. I had to find out the truth. What did she say to him? What had caused him to believe that he ruined any chances of us being together? Or did he say those words to me in order to turn me down quickly? I wish he would tell me the truth. I wish he would trust me enough to be honest with me. He seemed desperate to get me out of his office, and I wouldn't say I liked it. Nicole was inside here for a long time, and he didn't seem to be in a hurry to get her out. Instead, I remember seeing him impatient to push her inside. I try not to overthink about it, but I couldn't deny that I was extremely jealous. I can't remember ever being this jealous of anyone else. It bothered me to the point that I wasn't about to leave until I got an answer from Alaric. I can't answer yet, Clara, he finally tells me after a long pause. But I can confirm that she's going to be in my life for a very long time, and there isn't anything I can do about it. His words feel like someone just took a sharp sword and pushed it straight through my chest. She hadn't lied to us. She said that whatever it was that she had to tell Alaric, it would bring him back to her, and there would be nothing any of us could do to stop it. What she didn't know was that I wasn't about to back down. Alaric's responses told me that he didn't truly want to get back with her. It made me believe that she was most likely blackmailing him about something. I refuse to forget about you, I inform him. He looks shocked by my response. Every second that we spent together meant something to me, and I would like to believe that it meant something to you as well, I tell him. His jaw clenched. I asked you to leave my office, Clara. Please, listen to me. This is not the time or place for this discussion. His hands were still on the door handle, and I knew he was desperate for me to leave. I don't care about that, I snap. You started this when you kissed me in this very same office and then disappeared without a single word. I'm not going to let you push me away again. I'm going to do what I want to from now on. What do you mean by that? He growls. What do you want to do? I don't think twice as I close the distance between us. He stiffens at my closeness, and it feeds my motivation to keep going. I knew I affected him. At least his body language told me so. I want to show you what it means to be happy, I whisper. I want to show you that someone like Nicole could never satisfy you like I can. His breathing gets louder, and I inwardly smile. It was working. I knew it was. My body is inches away from his, and both of his hands tighten into fists at his side. He's no longer holding on to the door handle, and I know I'm winning this round. I want you to know that you can kiss me anytime you please, I whisper. I'll come to your office after each of your classes from today onwards, and you can do whatever you want to me while I'm here. I promise you that I will not complain. His eyes snap to mine, and the heat there almost melts my insides. My words weren't just affecting him, it was affecting me as well. I meant those words. I always wanted to offer myself to him. It felt good to gain the courage to do it finally. Alaric was the only man I would ever act this crazy for. He was the only person I'd offer myself to like this. Clara, he growls, you're playing a very dangerous game with a grown man. I'm not a little boy. Know exactly what you're offering to me, because if I ever decide to take it, there will be no going back. I place my hand on his chest, and his breath hitched. I know exactly what I'm offering to you. I've wanted to offer this to you since the first day I realized how much I wanted you. His eyes flash dangerously. Do you know what you're saying to me? I nod. I can hear my own words. I promise you that I will never take them back. Alaric, get her the out, now. I was shouting it in my head. Her words were driving the animal inside of me crazy. I didn't know why Clara chose to do this to me now out of all the damn days. I wanted her, but the circumstances didn't allow me to have her. My life was too damn complicated right now to allow her in. For her own good, I had to push her away. I couldn't accept her offer, no matter how much I wanted to take it. I already had these images of her naked on my desk stuck in my filthy mind. It's time for you to leave, I growl as I grab her by her arm with one hand while I open the door with the other. She tries to protest, but I push her out of the door. The second that she's outside my office, I drop to the ground and lean against the wall. I wanted her. I couldn't even begin to explain how badly I wanted her. I wish things were different. I wish I hadn't messed everything up during the full moon. I wish I had never even gotten married to Nicole in the first place. My life went downhill the second I placed a ring on her finger. I was blinded for a long time, but now that Clara is in my life, I realize what true happiness feels like. She's the first woman that ever made me feel this way. She's the only woman not blood-related to me that ever showed that she truly cared about me. I didn't know how to explain it. All I knew was that the heat inside of me was all because of her. I couldn't get her out of my mind or my heart. Now that Nicole was pregnant, it didn't look like I had a choice. I had to find a way to put my feelings behind me. I had a responsibility to take care of my baby. I was never a man to run from my responsibilities, and I couldn't change that now. I was already acting like a fool for running from my feelings for Clara, and because of it, I messed up my entire life. I couldn't run anymore. There wasn't much place for me to run either way. The rest of the day was a blur for me. I couldn't focus on anything at all. All I could think about was the fact that I had ruined my life in one night. Nicole finds me after my last class and walks with me to my truck. We have plenty to talk about. She tells me as she jumps into the vehicle with me. Do you plan on coming home with me today? I ask her, what about your car? She sighs. I had someone drop it home for me. I'm thinking about moving back into your house. Don't you think that will be a good idea now that I am pregnant with your child? I squeeze my forehead with my fingers. Nicole, can you just give me some time to think about this, please? What is there to think about? She demands. It's your baby. Do you not plan on taking responsibility for your actions? Of course I do, I assure her. You've been with me for a long time. You know that I will never abandon you or my child. It's just plenty for me to take in. She sighs. I need you, Alaric. I thought you would be happier than this. I'm giving you something special, and you know it. Don't let Clara ruin your dreams. She can't give you what I'm giving to you now. My jaw clenches at the mention of Clara. She was also stuck in my head. I was torn between doing what was right and what my heart wanted me to do. I'd never been placed in a difficult situation like this before. I promise I won't leave you at a difficult time like this, I tell her. You don't need to worry about Clara either. This is between the both of us. You don't need to include her in it. I know she wants you. She continues. She will do anything to make you hers. I close my eyes. Nicole has no idea how much harder hearing that made things for me. Knowing there was a chance that Clara yearned for me only made me want her even more. She places her hand on my shoulder. If you want, I can tell her I'm pregnant. If she knows that you got me pregnant, I'm sure that she will leave us alone. Nicole, I growl. This is not something that I'm ready to announce. Please give me some time before I can tell the people around me. She hugs me without warning, and I stiffen under her touch. Okay, if that's what you want, I'll wait. I'm so happy that you're back in my life, Alaric. I won't do anything again that will jeopardize our relationship, I promise you. Clara, Alaric is taking longer than usual to come home today, I tell Scarlett. She nods. Well, he did go missing for a while. He's only just resurfaced out of nowhere. I think that's why he's taking longer than usual. Or maybe he just doesn't want to see me after what I said in his office today. He seemed desperate to ask me to leave, and it bothered me. I knew it had something to do with Nicole. I knew that she was the reason for his sudden strange behavior. I wasn't about to let her win this fight. This time, I wouldn't sit back and watch her destroy his life. I would fight for him. He deserved someone who truly cared about him, and I knew for a fact that Nicole was only playing with his feelings. Guys, Violet says in a panicked voice as she barges into the room. What's wrong? Scarlett asks her. I was also on high alert. I could tell that whatever she had to say to us was about to affect us all. It's something with Alaric, isn't it? I ask her. Did he disappear again without any warning? I don't know how I would react if he chose to hide from his problems for a second time. Oh, it's much worse than that, she answers me. Worse? I ask in horror. What could be worse than that? She took my hand as if to prepare me for the news. He showed up with none other than Nicole, she informs us. My eyes widen and Scarlett gasps. She was also holding my hand now that Violet had broken the news to us. But why would he bring her here? I ask her in disbelief. I was sure that Alaric wanted nothing to do with her after the divorce, so why was she back in his life like she said she would be? What exactly did she tell him to make him do something that was sure to make him miserable? This doesn't make any sense to me, Scarlett whispers. We were all convinced that he was finally over her. He looked so much happier after the divorce. Then why would he bring her back home? I don't know, Violet whispers. It doesn't make any sense to me either. Something has to be wrong. Nicole told us that this would happen, which means that this was her plan. It's a very evil plan. She must be blackmailing him. It's the only explanation that I can think of. I had to agree with her. None of this made sense to me. We have to do something about it, Scarlett says. Violet nods. That woman made my brother miserable for as long as I can remember. There was never a day that he was happy while married to her. She was desperate for a divorce from him for a long time. I don't know why she's back now that he's moving on. There has to be a reason, and I plan on finding out. Ares barges into the room next, and even he looks petrified. What the hell is happening? He demands. I just saw Nicole, and she has bags. It looks like she's moving back into the house. What? Violet demands. I saw her enter the house. I didn't see any bags with her. Well, Alaric is helping her move them into his room. I don't like what I'm seeing, sister. Ares says in a worried tone. To his room? I ask in disbelief. This was much worse than any of us realized. Why would he be taking her things back into his room? Was that why he was so desperate to get me out of his office today? Was he planning on moving back in with Nicole? She's moving back in? Violet gasps. They're divorced. She has no reason to move back into the house. What the hell is going on here? Apollo is the next one to enter the room. It is like a reunion. One by one, Alaric's siblings entered the room with horrified looks on each of their faces. None of them could believe that Nicole was returning. I think one of us needs to speak to Alaric and find out what the hell is happening, Blaze says. That may not be the best idea, Armando disagrees. Do any of you remember what happened in the past when we tried to ask our brother anything about Nicole and him? It never worked out well for us. I think we should just stay out of this. His brothers seem to be in a disagreement about what should be done. Alaric is changed now, Ares says. He's moved on from Nicole. There has to be another reason why he's letting her back into the house. I couldn't pay attention to anything else they had to say after that. I was shocked that Nicole was moving back in, and not just into the house, but back into his room. This was horrible. My heart felt like it was about to shatter, but I wouldn't let it. I had to trust Alaric. There had to be a very good reason as to why she was here. Clara, I can't stay here today. I apologize to Scarlett. I don't think I can see Nicole with Alaric. Not right now. My sister hugs me tightly. I know it must be hard. I wish things weren't like this. I was sure that Nicole was out of Alaric's life for good. What's wrong with Clara? Carter asks as he enters the room. We both look at each other in panic. I didn't want to start an argument between Carter and Alaric. It was the last thing I needed right now. She doesn't feel well. Scarlett lies for me. But was it really a lie? I truly didn't feel well at all. My heart was in so much pain. It was the kind of pain I didn't wish on anyone. He doesn't look convinced, but he does look a bit concerned as he says, I just saw Nicole outside. Can someone tell me why she's here? Scarlett sighs. Why don't you ask your brother that? Have you tried speaking to him at all? His eyes narrow. He can talk to me anytime he wishes to. He's the one that's being stubborn. Scarlett rolls her eyes. I think you're the stubborn one, and you know it. He's making a mess of his life with Nicole again. I think you might be the only one to talk him out of it. His jaw clenches. I'm not meddling this time. If he wants to ruin his life because of her, I don't need to get involved. It's his decision. He needs to deal with it. I could hear the anger in his voice, but there was also a sign of worry that he tried to hide. Even though they were both on bad terms, he still cared about his brother. It bothered me that they were this way because of me. I try not to think too much about it. I had more significant problems than that to worry about now. Will you be visiting me tomorrow as well? Scarlett asks me with puppy eyes. I force a smile. Of course, I may not stay long, though. That's fine, she assures me. I'll be happy to see you, even if it's just for a second. After saying my goodbyes, I head towards the door, trying my best to avoid seeing Nicole with Alaric. The faster I got out of there, the better it would be for my fragile heart. However, it would seem that the universe had other plans for me. The second I opened the door to exit, I saw both Nicole and Alaric in front of me. He was still helping her with her suitcases. The second her eyes fell on me, I could see the big smirk on her face. She was telling me that she had won. I haven't seen her this happy in a long time. Alaric looks up at me, and I can see the moment his entire body stiffens. I can't help but stare at him without saying a single word. What could I possibly say at a time like this? He looked. Sorry? Was he sorry for bringing her back here? I wasn't sure how he truly felt. I wasn't sure about anything anymore. Are you leaving already? Nicole asks me with a knowing look. I can hear the thrill in her voice. I force a smile. I am. She looks disappointed that I didn't mention anything about her moving back into Alaric's home. Even though I wanted to find out more, I didn't plan on doing it in front of her. Alaric doesn't say a single word to me, and it doesn't make this any easier on me. I was hoping that he would have said something to at least ease my pain. He should be able to tell by now that this was freaking hard for me. He knew I had feelings for him, and if he never had a clue in the past, today, he definitely should have known after the things I said to him in his office. I have somewhere to be now, I say suddenly. Somewhere to be? Nicole asks. You look a bit dressed up. I try to hide my embarrassment. I dressed up before I came here to impress Alaric. I'm sure that she knew that, even though Alaric was oblivious to my efforts. I actually have a date. I lie. It was better than admitting I did it for Alaric, especially now that Nicole was back in his life. His eyes immediately darkened the second I mentioned I had a date. I felt a shiver down my spine at the look he gave me. A date? Nicole asks with narrowed eyes. That's interesting. I can tell that she didn't believe me, even though it seemed as though Alaric was believing every word that came out of my mouth. His hands tightened into fists at his sides as he waited for me to say more. I wouldn't make this easy for him. He hurt me today. If he had any feelings for me at all, I knew this would bother him. And so I kept on with the lie. Yes, a date. I answer her. I need to meet him in an hour. We're going for dinner and then a drive to the beach. He said he had a surprise for me. Seriously, Clara, I couldn't believe I was going ahead with this lie. I didn't ask for the details. Nicole snaps. Alaric and I have things to do. I need to unpack my clothes in his closet. I bit my lip to stop myself from screaming. Okay, bye, I said dryly as I all but ran towards my car. I hated this. I hated it so much. Alaric. A date. She was going out with another man. I couldn't blame her for what I did. But what happened to all those things she said to me in my office earlier? All that time, did she already know about that date? No. Clara wasn't that kind of woman. She was different than most women I knew. So then, why was she going on a date tonight? Was it because of Nicole? Was she angry that I had brought her back home with me? I agreed to let Nicole sleep in my room, but I wasn't okay with staying in there with her. I made it clear that I would sleep in one of the guest rooms. I hadn't mentioned that to anyone else. I can't believe her, Nicole mumbles. One minute she's all over you, and the next she's already going on a date with someone else. It looks like someone is a player. My hands tightened into fists, and I felt like punching someone, preferably whoever it was that Clara was going to meet tonight. I was tempted to follow her and see for myself. What if her date was a complete asshole? But who was the real asshole here? I was the one pushing her away because I got my ex-wife pregnant. She was better off with anyone else but me. That didn't mean I was okay with this. It took all my self-control not to run after her and beg her not to do this. It would be selfish of me to ruin her date just because I wanted her for myself when I knew I couldn't act on it. Are you okay? Nicole asks me as she grabs my arm. You look a little red. Red? I was pissed and annoyed right now. I'm fine. I lie. Let's get you settled in. I grabbed 2 of her last suitcases and carried them up the stairs. I could feel the eyes of all my siblings on me the second that I stepped into the family room. I was avoiding them, but I knew that I couldn't any longer. What the hell is going on? Apollo demands. You divorced Nicole just recently. Everything was finalized. She's no longer your wife. Then why is she back home? I thought you were over her. Violet snaps. We watched that woman make your life miserable for years. Why would you bring her back here the second that you're doing better? I knew they were all in shock and worried about me. I couldn't blame them when I was also worried. I knew that things were about to get much worse from now on. I know that you all are surprised. Surprised? Aries cut me off with a grin. I don't think surprised is the word for it, brother. I know that you're older than the rest of us and don't have to tell us everything that's happening in your life. But this one, don't you think you should have at least given us a heads up? Yeah, Blaze agrees with him. A heads up would have been nice. You know that we don't exactly have the best relationship with Nicole. She didn't just make your life miserable, she also messed with ours. I know this is hard for all of you, but believe me, it's hard for me also, I growl. I don't feel like talking about the reason she's back just yet. I still need some time to process everything. There's also someone that I need to speak to about all of this before I can break the news to all of you. I want her to be the first to know. Okay, now you're just scaring me, Violet whispers. What exactly did Nicole say to you to make this happen? I know she's blackmailing you. It's the only logical explanation for all of this. I swallow hard. I wish it were as simple as blackmailing Violet, but she isn't doing that. It's much more serious than that. What the hell could be more serious than that? Apollo demands. Everything will soon make sense to all of you, I assure them. But for now, I would appreciate it if you all respect my privacy while I deal with this matter. They remain quiet after my request. After they exit the room, Scarlett enters. I was glad to see her. She would have a better idea about this date that Clara had to go to. There is something that I want to ask you, I inform her. She looks surprised. You want to ask me something? I'm the one that has a million questions for you. I'm sure she did. It's about Clara, I inform her. Clara, she asks, suddenly interested in what I had to ask. I nod. She mentioned to Nicole earlier that she had a date tonight. Do you know who she's planning on seeing? Her eyes widen a bit at my question. A date, she asks. Clara told me that she had to leave early, but there was no mention of a date. I know that many guys ask her out daily, but she never mentioned accepting any of their offers. I stiffen at her words. Many guys? Then who the hell was she planning on meeting tonight? Alaric. It was the next day. I hadn't slept at all last night. All I could think about was Clara out on a date with another man. It made me mad to the point that I punched the wall a couple of times until I saw blood. It was healed now, but my heart hadn't healed at all. I made sure to make it to class early today. I had plenty to ask her about her date, that is, if she would tell me about it. However, when it was 5 minutes into the class and she didn't show up, I could feel my anxiousness growing. Even her friend Jenna was here, but still, there was absolutely no sign of her. Did she return home late last night? Was that why she couldn't wake up in time to make it to my class? Damn it. I wouldn't know until she walked in that door and told me everything I needed to know. I kept my eyes on it the entire time, waiting for her, but she never showed up. I spent the entire class just looking out for her. I was sure that plenty of students must have noticed that even though I answered all of their questions pertaining to the topic today, I was still not completely focused. Class is dismissed, I announce before the bell can signal the end of it. Everyone looks at each other in confusion, but I don't wait for them to exit. I'm the first to walk out the door. Where the could she be? I hated when I couldn't see her. It was even worse knowing she went somewhere last night with a random male that may or may not have put his hands on her. I angrily barge into my office, ready to call Scarlett and find out where the hell her sister was. However, I was surprised when I found the woman I was searching for sitting on my desk with her legs folded seductively. I don't think I've ever seen her look at me this way before. She's usually shy, but this time she looked like she was ready to devour me. It made my stir in my pants. It shouldn't be doing anything like that, especially after I got another woman pregnant. I had enough troubles already. I shouldn't add any more to that list. What are you doing in here? I ask her, stopping myself from asking the one question I truly wanted to ask. I came to offer what I said I would just yesterday. She answers me. I frown. She can't possibly be speaking about what she told me in my office. She couldn't be serious about offering her body to me. She meant more to me than that. I wouldn't use her for my pleasure. I wanted much more than that from Clara. However, I couldn't deny the strong need to take exactly what she was offering to me. It was hard to say no to a woman like her. I wanted to drop to my knees and give her everything she ever wanted and more. And what did you offer yesterday? I growl. I had to hear her say it. You really don't remember? She asks me with narrowed eyes. She even looked a bit offended that I couldn't remember. I would like to know why you missed my class today, Clara. I tell her as I fix her with my penetrating gaze. She looks slightly affected by it, but tries to ignore it. I didn't feel like attending, she says, which only makes me angry. Why would she not feel like attending? She was usually a good student who played by all the rules. Why was she acting like this? It was throwing me off guard. You didn't feel like attending? I growl. Does it have something to do with your date last night? Her eyes twinkle at the mention of her date, and it makes me even angrier. I didn't think you would remember my date, she says in a teasing manner. Why are you taking this for a joke? I growl. None of this is funny to me, Clara. Who the did you go on a date with last night? Does he go to this academy? Is he in my class? Who is he? I knew I should have kept my mouth shut, but this drove me insane. I had to know. I wanted to rip his head out of his body. I didn't think it was possible to hate someone I knew nothing about. But it turned out that it was possible when it was someone that Clara was dating. I'm not taking anything for a joke, she snaps. You're the one that kissed me, then disappeared the same day, and after a few days showed up again, but only to let your ex-wife back into your home and in your bed. To me, it seems that you're the one that finds everything funny. Why else will you play with my feelings like that? Clara. My words seem to have shut Alaric down. He's no longer angry, but looks more ashamed of his actions. I didn't want that. I was happy to see him this angry that I went on a date with someone. He still hadn't realized that I'd lied to him about that date. I never met anyone last night. In fact, I was in my bed holding onto his shirt for the entire night. It was still my comfort, even after everything. I couldn't sleep without it. I'm sorry for my outburst, Clara. He apologizes. I was tired of his apologies. I didn't want it anymore. I wanted something else. I'm tired of it, I shout. I don't want your apologies, Alaric. Stop giving them to me. I don't want it. His eyes widen. Clara, Save it. I snap. I don't want to hear anything. I'm tired of being the good girl. I'm tired of sitting back and letting everyone I care about go. I don't want to be that way anymore, Alaric. I want to fight for what I want. I fell in love with Carter once. At least I thought it was love back then. I would have done so much for him just for him to be happy. I gave up plenty to keep my relationship going. Then he dumped me and fell in love with my sister. I was so hurt, and I hated him for a long time before I was able to forgive him. Eventually, I was happy for both of them, but it still pained me so much to see them together. Not because I wanted him, but because I knew that I was alone. It was a bittersweet feeling. Then, you came along and gave me hope. You made me feel happy again. But you're doing the same thing to me that he did. You're hurting me, Alaric. You're giving me mixed signals. 1 minute, it's me, and the next, you're back with Nicole. I don't know what to take from all of this. His eyes are wider than before. He looks surprised by my words. What was there to be surprised about? I was never good at hiding my feelings from him. He should know by now how much I wanted him. He should know how strong my feelings were for him. Clara, he says in a pained whisper, I know that I'm a asshole for what I'm doing to you. I was so pissed at Carter in the past for hurting you. I couldn't understand how stupid he could be to lose you. I didn't understand why he wasn't showing you the kind of love that you deserved. You have no idea how angry I was with him. And I'm even angrier with myself for putting you through the same thing that he did to you. I never meant for any of this to happen. I was supposed to keep my distance from you. You're my student, you're younger than me, and you're also my little brother's ex-girlfriend. You were supposed to be off limits. I was never supposed to lay my eyes on you. I never had any intention of hurting you. I hope that you can believe me when I say that. I never knew that Carter's betrayal affected him as well. Why did he care so much about what his brother did to me? How long has he felt this way? Why did he never mention this to me before? Just how much has he kept from me? Why is Nicole back with you? I whisper. Why is she back in your home? His jaw clenches, and I hate how he looks away from me. It's not something that I'm ready to speak about, Clara. By the end of this week, I promise to tell you everything that you want to know. For now, please respect my privacy. I don't want to tell you right now. Something about the desperation in his voice made me drop the topic. I believed him when he said that he would tell me everything by the end of the week. For some reason, it felt like it would also be the end of us. How could there be an end when there was never a beginning? Until then, I wanted to take advantage of this moment and every other moment that I had with him. I didn't even think twice as I crossed the room towards him. He looks a little surprised, but he doesn't move at all. He lets me come to him. I can barely breathe when I lift my hand and place it on his chest, right above his heart. I could feel it beating under my touch. His eyes are on my face, and he isn't looking away. His breath was hot, and I couldn't help but lean in and inhale his scent. It was highly intoxicating. What are you doing, Clara? He asks as he swallows hard. I'm finally fighting for what I want, I answer him before pressing my lips against his. Alaric. Motherfucker. Her taste. It was too much for me. Whenever she was this close to me, I forgot about everything else. Her lips on mine felt like they were on fire. It burned me to my core. Saying no to her now would be more difficult than anything else I ever had to do in my life. I place my hands on her waist with every intention to push her away from me. However, my hands have a mind of their own as I pull her closer to me instead. She gasped against my mouth, and I felt her shiver. Clara, why do you have to be so damn irresistible? Why does everything about you make me want to mark you and turn you into mine? The strong urge to mark her was alarming to me. It wasn't something that my family had the privilege of doing. I was often jealous of regular werewolves who had mates and could easily bond with them. We didn't have the luxury of doing something so special. I never felt the need to do it either, but with Clara, everything was different. She made me want to do things I would have never dreamed of doing in the past. I grab her legs and push her up against my desk. I've fantasized about doing this countless times in the past. I've even had so many dreams about this. Would it be so bad if I forgot about my responsibilities for once and allowed myself to be happy? Taking what she was offering to me would make me the happiest man alive, even if it was just for one day. I want you, Alaric, she whispers. I've wanted you for a long time now. I hate myself for taking this long to tell you, and no, it has nothing to do with your brother. I've never wanted him the way that I want you. I wish that it was you since the start. I wish I'd gotten to know you better. I would have instantly fallen for you. Her words are like music to my ear. I always had the fear that Clara was only attracted to me because I was Carter's brother. I was afraid that her feelings were mixed up because of it. I'd seen how much she cared about him. I even saw how heartbroken she was when he left her. Her pain had hurt me as well. Back then, I didn't understand why it mattered so much to me. At first, I thought that I was concerned that Carter was letting go of the best part of his life. However, now I realize that I wanted her even all the way back then. My relationship with Nicole had blinded me from my true feelings. Maybe I was also in denial all that time. Hearing her admit how much she's always wanted me made my need for her intensify. I bury my hand behind her neck and growl against her ear. You really shouldn't have said those words to me, Clara. Now, no one can stop what I'm about to do to you. I feel her shiver yet again, and I pull her even closer to me as my body swallows every vibration that comes out from her. Every sweet sound from her mouth puts life back into my sad soul. I was living for every breath of hers. I wish I could tell her the truth. I wish she would still accept me. But how could I ask that of her if I couldn't even accept myself? Clara. I'd had men look at me in the past, but not like this. Carter never slept with me, but there were times when I was dressed in barely anything for him, hoping to catch his attention, but not once did he ever look at me the way that Alaric was looking at me now. It may be stupid, but I could feel tears of happiness in my eyes because of that one look. I'd never wanted to be looked at like this by anyone but him. That wasn't totally true. There were times I wished it was Carter in the past, but I know now that I was stupid for ever wishing for it from him. He was never the one for me. It was always Alaric. Why did it take me this long to realize it? Why didn't I figure my feelings out until it was too late? If I had realized that my interest in Alaric was much more than just that, maybe I wouldn't have made a mess out of my life wanting love from someone who could never love me. Was it still possible for me to have him? Or would he return to Nicole? I was happy that at least now he was willing to take things a step further with us. He was admitting things to me that he never mentioned in the past. It was a step forward, but I still wasn't sure what any of this meant. I knew that even now, something was holding him back from me. My body burned from the intensity of his gaze. He wasn't lying when he said he wanted to look at me. However, I felt nervous under his gaze. I wanted to cover myself up. I was afraid that I didn't look good enough for him. Nicole was a horrible person, but she was no doubt a beauty. She had men crazy over her because of her looks. "You're breathtaking," Alaric says in a breathless whisper. My lips parted slightly, and I was shocked to hear him say that. It helps to build my confidence. Clara, how was he so good with words? I know that he's a professor, but still. How did he not have a million women under his command? I knew that so many would give their souls to be in my position today. He could have any other woman, but yet somehow he chose me. Why? Was it because of my persistence? Or was there something else? Even in the past, he had a chance to sleep around with many women, but he never did. He was never a man who looked for pleasure in hundreds of women. He was always someone who found happiness in only one woman, and to me, that was the sexiest thing in a man, someone who only had eyes for one woman. Like now, I was the only woman he was looking at. I knew that it was only the two of us in his office, but I was also aware that if any other person were here right now, I would still have his undivided attention. I knew this man very well. There were things about him that no one else would need to tell me. I'd studied him well enough to know almost everything about him. I bit my lip to keep myself from screaming his name. I didn't need any of the students outside to hear what was happening inside of his office. I had to protect him even if he didn't want to protect himself. There are things I want to do to you that I will kill anyone for even thinking of it. He growls as he presses his lips against my neck. You have no idea what goes on in my mind. It's why I've tried so hard to keep you away from me. If I wanted it as well, I didn't see what was the problem. Why was he torturing the both of us? This was something that we both needed right now. I want to see you, I whisper. You're already seeing me. He responds with a kiss on my lips. No, I gasp. I want to see all of you. He swallows and, without warning, pulls me up from his desk. I watch in horror as he slowly starts to dress me. Why was he putting back all my clothes on? What's happening? I gasp. I thought that. I have a class now, Clara, he tells me as he looks at the clock on the wall behind his desk. As much as I want to take things further, I know that you deserve better than this. What? I demand. Does that mean you're going to keep torturing the both of us and not give me what we both clearly want? He grabs me by my waist and presses me hard against the wall as he places his forehead on mine. I don't have the strength to stop any of this from happening. Now that I know you want this as much as I do, there is no stopping it from happening. Then, if I miss this class, I'm sure someone will come to this office soon looking for me. I can't have you here without clothes on when someone walks in. We both know what will happen after that. He tells me, even though he shouldn't have to. My feelings for him so blinded me that I wasn't thinking clearly. It wasn't just the two of us on this earth. I promise you that I'll give you everything you want, Clara, he tells me as he covers my lips with his once more. But please don't come to my home tonight. I don't want to hurt you. What? Why would he say something like that after everything that just happened between us? Was he still considering having Nicole in his life after all of this? Why would he? It didn't make any sense to me. Meet me in my office tomorrow at the same time. He continues, I need to see you, I need to kiss you again, I need to touch you. So please, I need you here tomorrow. You have to be here no matter what. Alaric. It was official. I no longer was acting like a sane person. I'd completely lost my mind because of Clara. I knew this was wrong. I knew I was supposed to stay away from her after getting Nicole pregnant. She was off limits, but I couldn't control myself around her, and it didn't matter how wrong any of this was. I knew she deserved better than me. I knew that she would hate me if I kept going and didn't tell her the things that I did. I knew it was so wrong, but I couldn't stop it. It was too late for any of that. As I watched her leave my office after begging her to return tomorrow, I knew that I couldn't stop this even if I wanted to. I had lost it so badly that I even asked her not to come home tonight. I didn't need her to see me caring for Nicole. Even though I didn't want to, I had to do it for my baby. I had a responsibility to take care of her. However, I knew that I could never offer her my heart again. The time for that was long gone. I didn't feel the same way about her. It was in the past now. There's a soft knock on the door that takes my mind away from my heavy thoughts. Could it be that she was back? The door opens suddenly, and I see Nicole standing at the entrance. Damn it. She wasn't the one I wanted to see right now. Her nose wrinkles with disgust the second she enters my office. Something doesn't smell right inside of here. It smells a lot like Clara. Was she in your office again? My jaw clenches. Why are you here right now, Nicole? She quirks a brow and folds her arm over her chest. You do realize that I'll be around you a lot more now that I've moved back into your home. I'm carrying your baby, Alaric. Don't you think it's time that you start treating me better? I sigh. It was true that I shouldn't stress her out while she was pregnant, but I couldn't help acting this way. My feelings for Nicole were not the same. I've told her multiple times already, but she doesn't want to listen to me. She still has hope that the Alaric she once knew was still inside of me somewhere. I was the only one that seemed to understand that it was all gone. Even my family still thought that a part of me was still completely smitten by Nicole. I couldn't blame them. They couldn't see inside my heart, and my actions recently have definitely confused them plenty. "Aren't you going to answer me?" she asks. "Was Clara in your office again? And if so, why was she in here? There's no space for her in your life now that I'm back. Our baby needs you, Alaric. You can't keep letting her in anymore. You have to put all your focus on taking care of me and our unborn child." I forgot how annoying Nicole could be. She was always demanding and telling me what to do. Before, it never bothered me, but now I was pissed by her words. If she weren't pregnant, I wouldn't have even entertained such a conversation with her. But now, I don't have a choice. I had to do what I could to please her so that my baby wouldn't feel stressed in any way because of her emotions. "Let's not talk about Clara," I say softly as I guide her to the office chair. "Did you eat anything for the day?" She narrows her eyes at me. "Are you avoiding my question on purpose?" I take a deep breath. She made this so hard for me. "Nicole," I say in a calm tone, "I'm trying my best to make this work. I'm begging you, please stop bringing up Clara. Even though we're having this child together, we are no longer married. Clara is none of your concern." She didn't look happy with my response, but I had to make that clear to her. Clara meant so much to me, and Nicole had to find out soon enough. I was sure she could already see my feelings for her. I never tried to hide it, except from maybe Carter. "Okay," she sighs. "I won't speak about that woman, but if she shows up in front of me, I promise you that I won't hold back. She needs to know the truth, Alaric. She needs to know that I'm carrying your baby. I want to announce this to the world, but you're not letting me." Something didn't seem right about this. The Nicole I knew would never keep this a secret just because I was asking her to do it. She would have spilled this to every news outlet she could find. So then, why hadn't she done so yet? Was it possible that there was also someone she didn't want to find out that she was pregnant?